Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you present today. Thank you for joining in. I hope you all are having a great time. I'm Danish, the creative head at Flightways. And before we begin it would be great to know where we are joining in from, where you are joining in from, what you're looking forward to in this session. So, at this session, we are back for yet another demonstration of one of the finest battery swapping drone docking stations, the Hive Droneport, and to delve further into it, I would like to welcome Nikolay Ryashin, CEO of Hive Droneport, to the stage.
Hi.
Nikolay, hi Nikolay. Nikolay is a young entrepreneur who graduated from the International Institute of Economics and Law in 2015, where he studied economics. In 2018, he established Rudron Group LLC with the goal of enhancing his skills and knowledge in the implementation, operation, and maintenance of uncrewed aerial vehicles. Nikolai's keen interest and involvement in the UAV market led to the establishment of Droneport LLC in 2020, of which he is currently the director. The company specializes in designing and developing innovative UAV solutions such as Hive Station that allows UAVs to operate autonomously. With the Hive Station, the UAV can fly missions on repeatable predetermined missions. Before I pass it on to you, Nikolay, I would like to share a few housekeeping rules. Please type in your questions in the Q&A tab of the session and it will be answered at the end of the presentation. The session is getting recorded and will be published soon. Please remember to capture your favorite moments of the session and share it on Twitter, LinkedIn by using the hashtag NestGen, OpenDIB movement, and tagging Flightbase. We might just have a surprise in store. And finally, I would like to take a moment to thank our title sponsor DJI Enterprise and platinum sponsor Volatus Aerospace for supporting us in this journey. With that, over to you, Nikolay.
Thank you very much for giving me time. It's my second time I'm participating in the NestGen as event, and I'm really glad that for over these years we have separate events where we can speak about autonomy of drones, where we have separate topics about how we grow in this business and how we grow in technology. And I'm really happy because previously, when I was the owner and manager of the drone service company, we were only dreaming about how to make operations automatically without the people. Then we started to manufacture and invent something new and make product we get through the long and very hard way of producing, manufacturing, testing, introducing on the market, getting through the pilot projects and so on. So and now we see like the market of autonomous drones is developing, and I think I hope that in potential future, I think more than 10 to 15% of all operations, which is now made by UAV, could be automated without people, without the person in place. And I think the manufacturer which are making automated drone boxes in the app and whatever, how we call it, drone port, a little bit started to develop some new products before the future become. And now we only see how our products are entering the market in very actual and needed use cases in different industries. And also for me, I know that before me, it was a session with the DJI doc. And when the DJI as the main manufacturer of the drones in the world enters the market of drone in the boxes, for me, it means like we were not doing crazy stuff. So we as the other company was inventing something new and very, very interesting. So today I will speak, I think, about a system that we developed a couple of years ago. I want to share the technical concept. I want to share why we need it, for what we need it, how we can use it, and so on. So all the details about the technical concept, all the details about the use cases, all the details about the processing of data. And I want also to share some, I think, vision of the future, where it will develop and what could be next. So I think I will share some presentation with you, and we can go further. Yeah, cool. Just let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, yes, Nikolai, we can see the slides.
Yeah, cool. So one more time, my name is Nick, and I'm one of the shareholder of the Hive company. And we, in 2020, developed the system named Hive. It's a drone and a box system for those days, the more efficient and newest drone of the DJI M300. And for today, it's still one of the best drones I know in the world. And I think it's the best big enterprise quadcopter drone on the market that we have for today, which proven to its customer the stability and also the stability, quality, and very enterprise performant on the market of UAV. So just to show you a fancy preview video. So we're making the drone in a box station, which allow us to operate it at every time, at every distance, at any distance away from our Droneport station. So we just place it anywhere. We give connection to electricity. We give connection to any type of the internet. That could be 4G, that could be LAN, that could be whatever in the world. And then we able to operate by UAV without the human. So how everything started. I was the CEO and the owner of the company, which was making a lot of services by the manpower, by humans. And at one time, we had more than, I think, 16 to 20 pilots, and we were doing a lot of stuff and a lot of drone services within one area. So it was one city, and we were making something around from 30 to 45 flights per day, and some of them were very routine. And at that time, when we had a lot of groups with pilots and we were managing all this stuff, we had a lot of equipment, we had a lot of people. Somebody woke up a little bit later than they should be. Somebody is stuck in traffic and didn't start the mission at the right time. Somebody forgot to call the dispatcher. That's why he missed his window for the legal flight. Somebody was running from the docks on the construction site. Somebody was running from a policeman even having the approvals for flying and so on. And so it was very funny and a little bit struggling because of the human factor. And at those times, we started to think about how it would be great to avoid the human factor in drone market. So for today, we calling it like a manned flying vehicle, but at the same time, there is a human involved in the whole operation of drone flying. We don't have pilot inside, but we have pilot on ground, and so we have still an option for human factor, and we have whole weak type of the human operation at the side. But at the same time, we see that the technical point and in the technical readiness of the drones for year to year becomes more and more advanced. So all main drones, if we will speak about enterprise line for sure, all of them could fly automatically. So the human needed only for, first of all, to switch on the drone, to prepare drone to take off, to get through the pre-flight health check, to put and install inside the batteries, to just make some road plan, to go fly, land, and just swap the new batteries if the mission is not finished. So it's like more about the maintenance of the drone. And for sure, we need the pilot for regulation, and within the legislation of more countries, we need the pilot on ground just to fly. Okay, but to be honestly, like we we're thinking and we see how the regulations are changing for over the years. Like there is no need of the human on site no more. So okay, if we're speaking about the BVLOS flights, we still need visual control, we need telemetry, we need to work with the UTN system, but we think that all of this could be done without the human on site. And that's why we started also to look inside the concept where we can build the drone port. Is some technical concept which will maintain the drone. It's the hardware and the software which allow us to just not only make the mission planning for the drone, but also maintain the drone with the conjunction of the drone port station, which will support the climate control, which will charge or replace the batteries, and which will help to let drone go on the mission on a daily basis at just within a couple of minutes. We were thinking about what concept is more suitable to choose, the charging or the swapping batteries. For sure, I can say that like those days for me, one of the most advanced company in the drone boxes market was IE Robotics from Israel, and I've seen those videos like this is big 2.5-ton box with the swapping of the batteries, and I said, wow, this is amazing, but it's too big, and I think it's too expensive at the same time. So, and I think that one of the weak, sometimes one of the big points of drone ports manufacturers is when the companies are starting to make their own drones. Like you can make 100 good drone port station at the same time, and it will be good product. It's a real product, but you can't make like 100 drone to be in equal situation. So for that time, we choose the best in the world enterprise model of the drone. It was Matrix 300, and we swapped our strategy from building our own drones to integrate it inside the already commercial model on the market, which will develop, which have new payloads, and which is flying more far in advance than the regular small drones. So we've built the system, which includes Matrix 300 as the UAV, and we've built the robot which swapping the batteries because our concept was to build the infrastructure of the drone ports, not selling the product, but trying to sell the services. When we put the drone port at the station, like the, for example, like the infrastructure for cell phones, for the internet connection, or so on. The person and the companies, the government entities in the area of coverage of one drone port could connect to it and purchase the services fast, legally, more cheap than made by human, and so on, and full efficiency, and with no need to build inside the company competency of drone flying and making services by the drones. So by this concept of the drone port, we tried to eliminate the human factor. We tried to help companies in coverage radius have the drone services fast, cheap, and with no need of growing competency of the drone ports inside. And I think that finally we achieved this goal, and not only us, but also another companies on the market which are producing and manufacturing the drone ports. So we see like how, first of all, I think the first of the clients we had, and also our competitors and partners have, is sole companies when they buy the product only for themselves. But also we see now how the market is changing, and so it is new growing potential business when somebody, drone service provider, buys the drone port and just sell the services from this talk to any clients in the range of product working. So we've built the system. It was initially built as the robust, highest in a grade, big, solid metal, weatherproof, vandal-proof system, which is not cheap but very efficient and could work for years in very different weather and environmental cases. So the station is made from metal. I mean the corpus, because we have a robot inside, and for the robot we need millimetric accuracy. We need the points to not get in the way. That's why the frame of the station should be very hard and straight. That's why most of the hard body is made from the metal. That's why it could work for years, for 3, 5, 6, 7 years, and no need to get a lot of maintenances for over the year. The station is fully vandal proof. The only thing that could be done by vandals is just to do something with the equipment on the masts. At the same time, ability to work in all type of the weather. That's also good. From -45 to +50, and it was proved by different projects, by different clients, so we can effectively work also in a very cold climate, in a very hot climate, in a climate with a big humidity, and so on. The station has the main advantage of the station that is inside there is a commercial and industrial grade robot, which is swapping the batteries, switch on the drone, switch off the drone, and making the maintenances of the drone between the flights. The robot is built from industry components, not 3D printed or something else, what we can see on the market usually. So initially, the product was made like the high-grade industry advanced product that could be dropped somewhere and just work there for a longer time with the materials and details inside, which will not get unusable in the long term of the lifetime for the product. So how it works, it's very easily. We're pushing the mission on the drone to special software. Special software is opening the roof of the station, raising the landing table. Drone is coming up and flying on the mission. Meanwhile, station is closes, table is going down, roof is closing. Drone is making its own mission, comes back, changing and sending and receiving the keys from the station to prove that it's his station, and then the roof is opening, landing table is raising up, drone is landing by any type of precision landing. It could be computer vision, it could be RTK, and so on. And after that, drone is getting inside, roof is closing one more time, and drone is sending data from its camera to station, and from station to the server. That means like we can operate the drone port through over anywhere in the world if we have connectivity for our product. We have industrial grade electronics inside. We have AC, which is helping us to cool the batteries, so the batteries could initiate and start charging in a very fast way. So even having 6 batteries inside allow us to fly 24/7 with no gaps between the flights. So we always have the fully charged pack of the batteries, and we always can go on the next mission just within like a couple of minutes. Station have surveillance. We have cameras outside the station, inside the station. We see the robotic movements. We see, like, for safety reasons, what is happening outside, and we also see how the drone is landing on the landing table at the same time. So high-grade weather station allow us to see all parameters of the wind, temperature, humidity, and so on. We have communication models, so station could work through mobile internet, for 4G, 5G, through the LAN cable, and also through the satellite internet. Also, station have UPS, which allow all components work more than 2 hours. If we have gaps in the electricity, still all electronics and all devices will work for 2 hours. And also this UPS allowing us to make 2 cycles of movements of the roof and landing table. If, for example, electricity was interrupted in the middle of the mission, UPS still will allow us to receive the drone back from the mission at the same time. So yeah, there is like more than 200 components inside the station, and initially it was made very high level grade. The robotic part and the full mechanical components are full with the sensors. There is 28 sensors inside, so they all allow to prevent any mechanical issue. For example, all position of the station are controlled by the sensors. System knows if the drones inside the station is outside, not only based on the software, but also based on the physical sensors. So, for example, landing table will never go up if the roof is not fully open. The landing table with drone will never go down if the drone being not centralized and if the sensors are not showing that the drone is on the landing table. The robot will not take new batteries and try to swap it in existing drone with the batteries, because we always have all data not only from software but also from hardware, from different type of this sensors inside the station that help us to understand the position of all the devices to fully eliminate any kind of mechanical issue when like the system is thinking that is it's in one position and making any mistake. So all the steps should be done preliminary. We cannot go on flight if we didn't done previous step, and that help us to not involve inside the operation at all. So you don't need to pick by the button like, first I want to activate drone, then I need to open the roof, raise the table. You just press start the mission and the system is doing everything automatically. It checks all the pre-flight, it's checking all the sensors, it's checking everything. And the mission of operator becomes very simple, just to observe and react or any issues in the flights if there could be. So the operator could stop or pause the mission. It could obtain the control manually through the joystick or through the keypad. Doesn't matter, but all the cycle is done fully automatically without the human on both sides, on the side of drone flying and on the side of Droneport station as well. So yeah, I think like the most advanced that we have is the swapping of the batteries. We have the hot swap that allow to not switch off the drone while we transferring the data from the camera, because sometimes if we're doing like mapping missions, we have for one flight about the 3, 4, 5, 6 gigabytes of data and of files, and if we need to go on the next mapping mission, we don't need to deactivate the drone to take off the batteries. We're just making the hot swap of the batteries, and then we can go on the next mission as well. And moreover, as the DJI has also ports for onboard computing, so we can make artificial intelligence processing on board, and that help us to make the system more advanced. So not only use the payloads for photo and video, but use the unlimited capacity of artificial intelligence on board with the different type of things that we can do. And I think that is real very good stuff that we will discuss in the end of our mission. Just to give you a little video brief how everything is working and how it's looking like. In the first option, so drone is flying outside from the station, flying automatically without the human. Robot is swapping the batteries and doing all the stuff between the missions, and we are ready to the next mission for flying. Yeah. As I said previously, we are using my 300 RTK. I like this drone very much because it's proved itself in a different type of industry solutions. It's very robust. It's high grade drone, which is flying in a very different conditions in a high wind. It's taking a good amount of the payload, up to 2 kilograms, and the new payloads like the P1 camera is a very nice payload that could help industrial application to match their goals. So yeah, on this drone we can also install the parachute system. The landing could be done both through the computer vision by any type of the devices with RTK. The drone could be adjusted with onboard computer to make onboard computing, and also that's good when we're speaking about extending the range of drone flying. For example, in an area with very stable internet connection with the 4G, 5G, communication with the drone could be done through the LTE or 5G. So onboard computer having Ethernet router, and we can communicate with the server directly, not through the remote controller, but also directly with the server. So we can stream high quality video, both from FPV and from the payload. And we can also manage the drone remotely, directly through internet. This is one of the very good options that this big drone with the onboard computer has on the market. Really, the number of applications where it could be used, I think, varies first from the payloads, for sure. So not only monitoring safety, security options, and so on, if we will speak about the Zenview H20 and H20T, but also the Naturus 300, and the system is used widely for the mapping, for sure, because like the Zenview's P1 and L1 is one of very great payloads that proven itself on the market already. I think the P1 is one of the best photogrammetric camera that we have on the market of industrial grade, 42 megapixel, and ability to rotate it. And yeah, we can get up to 1 centimeter on the pixel if we're speaking about the quality of the photogrammetry. So it's very good results, and a lot of companies in the world loves this drone with this type of the payloads. But not only mapping LiDAR and photo and video, there is some additional payloads which could be put on the drone to make inspection of the power lines. There are different type of the LiDARs, of the custom LiDARs. There is some type of the payloads which allow us to make the ecological monitoring, and for sure the big drone allow us to put on the parachute system, which is mandatory in some countries, in some city, as one of the criteria of safety of flying, for sure. So yeah, where the drone ports and where this system could work. First of all is security and surveillance. I think this is one of the most widely used use cases, because if you have any object that should be secured, you can adjust your camera tech system with the drone ports and with the drones just to cover the blind zones. For example, the M300 from this drone port station is flying something about up to 9 kilometers at one direction. So the coverage of all stations is more than 300 square kilometers, which what is, I think, enough much. And that could be used in the different areas where it's expensive to put inside the cameras, just regular cameras. I can speak here about one of the interesting projects, like in Dubai, in the UAE, there is Road and Transport Authority, and they had a project about how to integrate drone port inside the system of the city surveillance of the traffic. For example, they have I think, quite high capex cost of putting inside the tech system the camera. So they try to prove the concept how we can integrate the drone port to cover a lot of blind zones. And for example, they have camera A, they have camera B, and they have nothing between them. And if something unusual, uh, they see something unusual by using artificial intelligence on the camera A or on the camera B, they can understand that something is happening between these two cameras. They have the blind zone, and the drone automatically flies there and a given stream inside their platform. And yeah, it was a very, very great result and interesting project with Road and Transport Authority. There are a couple of different use cases, like for example, monitoring of the border also when there is a perimeter of the border, but border should be monitored on its safety, and if there is no something wrong with that, through all the 100 kilometers. And one of clients, what they have in mind is to make the ecosystem of non-stop monitoring the border between two countries with the drone ports, which allow them, with the using of artificial intelligence, to be sure that there is no breakthrough through the fence and everything is safe and there is nothing illegal happens. For sure, construction market. Construction market is one of the top market for the drone, and we can not only compete there with the cameras on the cranes or on the mast, I don't know, but we can also work there with the data vision analytics. It's photogrammetry, it's laser scanning, is making 3D modeling, is the report, progress reporting, and so on. So big construction project. They needing drones. For example, there is a project with us in NEOM. They have one drone port station, and NEOM is making construction progress monitoring by the drone port because they have a very big territory, and they in Saudi Arabia they want to build ecosystem, and the level of their ambitions in construction is really high. It's more than 100 kilometer city. So yeah, that's amazing, and they want to automate everything. Power companies and electricity is one of areas where the drones are used now already. So yeah, they flying, they working with the lidars, they working with the infrared cameras, they looking for supporting infrastructure of the power lines if there is everything is good with the power lines. And here we can also automate this process. It could be linear infrastructure of the drone ports, where we just making monitoring of everything in automated option without the human. But one of the good things that power lines have cuts off, and they have also uh, some urgent cases when in some areas the power line could be damaged, and while at the time of the person to come in these areas could be very long. And for sure, if this area is in the coverage of one drone port station, it could be done very fast. Agriculture is one of the potential segments, I think, in DVI filming and monitoring also about the safety is somewhere that we can use drone ports. EMERCOV and everything about the urgent cases, why it is good for the drone ports, because drone port could drone inside the drone port could go on the mission just within 1 minute. And for a person to get the drone and come on the place, it could take up, I don't know, from half an hour to hours to come, to bring the equipment, to start operations and so on. But if we are in coverage of one drone port station, at the same time, we can do all this job automatically and very fast option just within like seconds, minutes. And this is very critical for some cases. And for sure, we are mining and oil and gas, so everything about the resources. Mining are using and they are flying with the drones, with the mapping, with the lidars, with the photogrammetry cameras every day for a big amount of times every day, and they need to make daily comparison of volumes and stockpiles. That's why in our case it's like perfect match when we just helping them to fully automate the project. So mine is not for months, mine is for years, sometimes for 10 years, like 20, 30, 40, and putting their drone port, help them to operate with this drone port like for 5, 7 years without the people, and making daily missions for 7, 8, 10 flights per day, and make this process fully automated. And for sure, we see also how in oil and gas industry, drone ports are also having their place. Like we know the tenders in the US with the Perceptor and electricity plant. We know about drone stations in Malaysia and Petronas, a branch of company in Malaysia, and we see how this critical parts of supply of energy supply are also starting using this type of drone automated ecosystem. Yeah, just to catch up. So if we're speaking about the using drone port and using payloads for photogrammetry and for the lidar, because we cannot just only make the photo and video missions. It's not something that clients need today. I think more advanced clients, they need more analytics and they need some data to make a decision on place. So that's why for sure drone ports could be used with a different type of the payloads for photogrammetry to make dense point cloud. With the lidars, we can make the 3D models. With the photo, we can make orthophoto, and we can use all this data for monitoring the progress on the mine, on the big construction venues, and so on. And this process all could be fully automated, and all of these devices, all of the drone ports could be operated fully remotely, like in tens of kilometers, in the hundreds, or even in the thousands kilometers away from location of the station at the same time. Live broadcast, this is what we can do also at the same time. And I think I want to bring here more time about artificial intelligence, because I think we have not so more time. This is one of my favorite things, because big drone allow you to have onboard computer, because we have suitable ports, UART, and also we have enough electricity and power to supply with the power onboard computer. So our system with the Matrix 300 allow us to work with the onboard computers which have GPU inside. That means that we can extend usage of the system very largely, and we can make the system with the photo, video surveillance, and with the thermal camera inside the big and just smart machine. We can use a different type of the artificial intelligence on board for construction, for PPE, like you have on the screen, monitoring online. For example, drone is flying through the construction site, making photo and videos, artificial intelligence, making post-processing, and just sending in a WhatsApp or Telegram bot and chat reports where it was fine. We have, with some of the partners, we have artificial intelligence models of traffic counting, like the cars, and everything could be done online. So we just draw up the lines and we see how many cars get through the line, type of the cars, and so on. And we can even see any violence on the road when somebody is doing something wrong. It could be widely used for security if we fly in night and we have a thermal camera, so we can automatically detect person, cars, animals in the places where they should not be. So this is one of the very, very advanced options. And there is a lot of different use cases that could work. For example, we had a project with the garbage monitoring. With the we were flying through the city every day. We had more than 20 places which we wanted to see and making like photos and videos. And then after the mission, all the files is get through artificial intelligence. And in the end of the day, it was a report for municipality about the cleaning of the places from the garbage. There is 22 criteria with artificial intelligence, and that helps municipality systems to work smoothly and control also their contractors in any type of services. So yeah, I think like artificial intelligence on board of the drone help us to extend capacity and possibility of the system very, very widely. I think I'm getting out of time. So yeah, I will be happy if there will be any of questions from your side. So thank you very much for attending, and thanks everybody.
Thank you, Nikhil, for walking us through this beauty. I'm sure this is going to be a game changer in the industry.
Yeah.
We would like to open Q&A session now. So audience, you can use the Q&A tab to ask the question. I think we have some questions. So how many batteries does the system charge at once?
The system charges once 4 battery because there is 2 original charging plates of the DJI batteries inside, so we can charge the 4 batteries, so 2 pairs of the batteries at one time. But that's enough. Us like 6 batteries inside the station is enough to fly 24/7. The charging station have 8 slots, so for any case when one pair of the batteries is getting damaged or something else, so 6 is enough for flying 24/7, and 2 more is enough just for safety reason.
All right. So, okay, could you please share your thoughts or comments on the open DIV movement or approach, like the modular approach, in which all the companies contribute to each layer of drone autonomy, right? And what are its benefits, and how can you help us grow the industry?
You mean like what I'm thinking about the whole concept of drone autonomy?
Yeah.
I think I'm really fond of, and I'm just maniac of industrial automation, and I really believe that a lot of things should be automated by the robot. So I believe that also the drone flying will be fully automated in some time without the human. And I think, as I said previously, from 10 to 15, maybe even 20% of all drone services will be made in the future by fully automated system. The only thing that we have now on the market is legislation. I think when the BVLOS will be approved, there will be standards, there will be integration with the UTMs and so on. When we will be allowed just within a couple of tens minutes go outside from the station without very hard approval from the government, all this will develop very rapidly. But yeah, we're waiting. But in some countries, in some cities, in some use cases, this is already happening.
Okay. All right. We can have 2 more questions, I guess. So, how frequently would the system require maintenance?
Somebody is asking to contact our contacts one more time. Let me just share the screen while we are. Yeah, if it you see it, yeah. Okay. So basically, we have once a quarter maintenances for the people just to go inside the station and just look on the parts that everything is go. And mainly the maintenance is required once per 6 months.
All right. Okay, so I guess this is the last question. Like, do you have any distributors or resellers in US? Where can I see the demo or purchase the dock?
Unfortunately, no. But if you have any opportunities, you can contact us, and we can speak about the US market as well. So I think it's a very, very good potential to work with. Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Nikolai.
Thank you.
Would you like to share any closing thoughts?
I think I want to highlight one more time that I'm happy that we have such an event when we can discuss the drone autonomy, because, like, 2 years ago, it was 2, 3 companies which were working with drone ports and drone automated products. And now I'm very glad that I'm one of the guy who was building this ecosystem, and I'm just wondering how it will develop in the future. And I'm just, I'm just I just want to say to our listeners, if you are potential buyers and people who are thinking to integrate the drone boxes, autonomy systems inside their workflow, don't be scary about that. It's a good time, and I think the producers and manufacturers of different systems are very willing to help you, and now to give you very strong attention to implement those systems inside your workflow. So don't hesitate to contact all of us, and we will be happy to help you to prove that this type of operation could be fully automated at the same time.
Great, great. Thank you all for joining us today. Hope you're having a great time at NestGen. Let us know how you
Yeah.
found the session in the comments. Coming up in the next few minutes are 3 sessions. Please go to the session tab and attend the sessions of your choice. See you in the next session. All right. Thank you, Nikolai, for your time.
Thank you very much, and
Yeah,
see you soon. Bye bye.
yeah. Bye bye.